Well, hey there. Welcome back to the People Gardener podcast. Happy to have you here this week. We are going to talk about rediscovering processes and procedures that have worked for you and you have just simply let them die out, let them stop. This all came to me as I was listening to Dan Martell. He is a business owner. He's had a number of businesses, $100 million exits on a few of them. But he was talking about a process that he used when he was working with employees that had difficulties and problems. And there was just this flashback for me back when I was in corporate because I utilized this same process. I just didn't have a cool name for it. He calls it the 131. What it is when somebody comes to you with a problem that they're wanting you to actually have a solution for. First thing, get them to identify and clearly define what the problem is so that you know that they're clear on what it is they're trying to solve. And sometimes just even that first step, getting more clarity, then it makes it easier to come up with a solution because you know better what the problem is. So get them to identify that. Then the next step is asking them to come up with 3 solutions. When you're first getting started on this, you're having to educate them and train them. Okay, so this is how it works when you come to me with a problem. You got to define it, you've got to come up with solutions, and then you need to make recommendations so that they understand that that's a process. And before long, they will come with their 3 solutions. The first few times it could be that, they forgot they needed to come up with some solutions. And really what you're doing is you're training them to be the president and CEO of their desk. And that's something that I teach, something that's inside my membership that's available. It's a video class on encouraging and helping your people structure how they work to look at things as the president and the CEO, that they can see what's coming in, what's going out, and they can make an informed decision about how things need to operate at their desk. Okay, so I digress. That's a topic for another day. So they come up with 3 solutions to their problem. The beauty of this approach is they know best. They're the ones that are in this situation. They're the ones that are experiencing the pain. They're the ones that see all of the potential ways that things could be different in order to alleviate this pain, this frustration, the bottleneck, whatever it is. And so for them, they have the most up-to-the-minute information to actually make an informed decision on how best to solve this problem. So they've given you what the problem is, clearly defined it, and you understand it perfectly. And if you don't, you got to start asking the questions and probing. So we've established that they know specifically what the problem is. And then they've come up with these 3 solutions. And you listen to them. Again, you probe, you ask questions, and making sure that you're clear on what the solution is. And then you simply ask them, what do you believe is the best solution of the 3 that you presented? They will then tell you what they believe is the best solution. And chances are you're going to absolutely agree with them, because they have taken the time to consider all of the information that's at their disposal in the trenches, that they know the workings inside and out. And chances are you're going to agree with them. And what that does, number one, it empowers your employee to actually be part of the business and making sure that everything's working well. But it frees up your brain from problem solving. It eliminates, well, I shouldn't say eliminates, it greatly reduces the decision-making fatigue that so often plagues small business owners. Because the buck stops with you, no question. I mean, you are the one that is responsible for this business, for the employees, all the rest of it. It gives you time back to work on your business instead of constantly in it and putting out fires. This whole process works when you are willing to coach your employees and you are unwilling to be the initial problem solver. Give them some space. Give them opportunity to show what they're capable of doing. They will solve it. And chances are, this might hurt your ego a little bit, but they'll solve it better than you could because they have better data. They have better information. They are closer to all of the parts of the issue that are causing the problem. You know, it was interesting back when I was in corporate and when I was made operations manager, I had a team of 2 people out in the production facility. One of the gals, my darling, I call her my 4th daughter, Andrea. She was our oldest daughter's best friend. And then Lee. And the 2 of them had really been running the production department. The person that was in the position that I took over from was not someone who invited employees to participate. And so for the first, I want to say it was months, it was several months, they would come to me. And I should preface this by saying I had a meeting with the 2 of them. We spent all day. We went through their vision, all of their challenges, struggles, things that they wanted to see change, things that they wanted to see improved. And I just told them, this is your department. So you are going to be the final word on what happens in this department. And just keep me in the loop of, what you're thinking of doing. Well, Andrea, she knew me. She'd known me since she was, I want to say 12, 13. She knew how I operated. And she knew that what I said was what I did. And so for her, it was no big deal to just come in and make the changes because she knew that I trusted them because they certainly knew way more about all the machines and the production and how long things took and all the rest of it. But poor Lee, it was so foreign to him because he had never been exposed to a boss, in quotation marks, or a leader that inherently trusted him to do the best job possible. And so he would come in and he would say, so, this is what I'm thinking of doing. And I said, well, that makes sense. Go for it. And he kept coming back until eventually he realized, wow, she does trust me to come up with solutions for things that make the most sense for the department, for the company, and for our customers. This is where you want to get to. You want to get to the point that people understand that they are valued. Their contribution is valued. Their intelligence is valued. Their creativity is valued. What they bring to the table, what they bring to the job and to the company is valued. It's important. And the way that you do that is by having them exercise their minds and their creativity as part of their job. This whole decision-making thing that relieves you of so much is a wonderful stepping stone for them. Because here's the thing. The more you empower your people, your employees to make decisions, the easier it is for you to move them to more responsibility. Could be a leadership position. It could be being the lead on a specific project. It could be you move them to be the face of the company. It could be on your social media. It could be at the local chamber meeting. They're the person that goes and represents your company. When you can give them the opportunity to make these decisions, come up with solutions, and empower them, that's all part of building a team of raving fans. And you hear me talk about it all the time. Those raving fans have your back, and those raving fans are going to make it so that you have time to spend on your business, so that you have time to be gone from your business and know that it's going to be looked after. So give this a go. Dan Martell's name for it is the 131. Mine, I don't have a special name for it, but I do know that it works. I implemented this methodology or this philosophy to great effect. That's it for this week. We'll talk to you again next week.